Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here to the start of this week's Fan Fridays, and I am honestly surprised right now. When I saw Trick Room Wishiwashi in the comment section, I was thinking doubles, but no, singles Trick Room, guys. I love it. I've tried to say that this is very possible, and we're going to see how Carbink sets this up for a Wishiwashi. Like, yo, just Trick Room into Wishiwashi, rated battle spot, 3v3 sweep, or just battle spot, 3v3 sweep. Do it. That's how you win battles right here. So it's going to be Carbink into the Alakazam, and Carbink just wins. Like, unless it gets taunted, it's just going to be able to survive, get the Trick Room, and then shenanigans are going to happen to the opponent right there. So Alakazam going to set up that future sight as Trick Room just kind of happens. Now, how's it going to go from here? Is it going to be a manual switch? Does Carbink still have... Oh! Okay. We figured it out, guys. That's one way of doing it. And... that's also one way of KOing an opponent. It's enough to take out an Alakazam. Okay, then. Trick Room Explosion. That's how you maximize Trick Room turns, guys. And now it's a 2v... yeah, it's a 2v2. But it's Wishiwashi under Trick Room. How does it deal with the Tapu Koko, though? How does it deal with Tapu Koko under Electric Surge? These are the real questions being asked right now. So, schooling ability, going to do a thing. Insane stats. And are we going to see some shenanigans right now, guys? Hydro Pump. Alright, so just raw damage with the Hydro Pump from the Wishiwashi. And that is enough to KO Tapu Koko, guys. Okay, is it Life Orb then? Yeah, boy. Like, it has to be Life Orb. If you already have the Trick Room, like, you're not worried about taking any extra damage or something. Future Sight comes in big, though. Doesn't really matter too much. And then it's Tyranitar. And Tyranitar's a Rock-type Pokemon, so it's just dead. And Wishiwashi is so slow, and Tyranitar has that pseudo-legendary, so it's fast. There's 3 field conditions right now. We have Sandstorm, so we have Weather, we have Terrain, and we also have Trick Room. And also Tyranitar's dead. That battle went by super fast. But, guys, we got some more battles to show. So let's just sit down and get ready for a lot of these, because we're gonna see how cool these submissions end up getting. Alright, same team, 3v3 battle spot. Now I'm looking at the Minior, and I'm wondering if the Minior actually really works with a Trick Room. So say Wishiwashi's on the field for X amount of turns, Minior now has its shield form, so it technically gets to go faster if it's doing like damage or trying to go for like some kind of setup, and then if you time it right with the turn that Trick Room ends, then now you're faster than the opponent and you got your setup a little bit more reliably. Actually, I don't know, being slower on a Shell Smash would make a lot more sense because then you're losing defense. I don't know, guys. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on right now. That is going to be a withdraw on the Ninetales because... scary damage things into the Kartana, and Carbink just gets a free Trick Room off of that one. So Kartana's probably going to tank up the explosion really well, but at least we can see how much damage Carbink is potentially outputting with this one. And I guess it's just like brave nature Carbink, because you have Sturdy, you Trick Room, Sturdy happens, you explode, and that's going to be shenanigans. So resisted hit on a high defensive Pokemon, that's kind of that right there. But you bring in Wishiwashi and then you use Ice Beam and then the opponent has no chance. So let's go and see what else this Wishiwashi has up its sleeve with that schooling under the Trick Room and Life Orb and the damage, and it's just so filthy, guys. So that is going to be Wishiwashi setting up the Ice Beam into the Kartana, and Kartana just dead. It has very low special defense, neutral hit. It's just dead. So it looks like, I'd imagine it is full special attack Wishiwashi. Maybe there's a hidden power involved. I'm not sure, but that's going to be a Ninetales now. So Wishiwashi with the Hydro Pump into the Ninetales. And that is going to, it just KOs everything, guys. Like, Wishiwashi is terrifying. Because normally you have to give up the damage on the Life Orb for one of the berries. That way you don't unschool early. And that's a Slazzle. So now we have Slazzle. Even if Hydro Pump misses, I don't see Wishiwashi able to do anything to it. And it has a Scald. Okay. So, has the right amount of safety, you know, Scald for the guaranteed KOs, Hydro Pump for those neutral KOs, Ice Beam for coverage, and then X move right there. And this is what I mean, guys. We're just going to tear through these battles now, apparently, because we have quite a few more submissions. Let's just keep knocking them down. I'm enjoying this. I'm very much enjoying this. It feels like this is just going to be a montage of sweeps of what can Wishiwashi kill. And if you're down for that, let's chill for the next couple minutes. If you already know what's gonna happen, alright, I'll see you guys in the next Fan Fridays. Well, we're gonna see how much we can get out of this one. It's a Nidoqueen. Oh, now I saw the Nidoqueen, I was like, oh, that's dead immediately, but we still get to see how much damage the explosion does. I'm gonna set up some damage. We have 5 submissions, so this is like submission number 3. Let's just show all 5. And I'm gonna set up some damage calculations at the end of this. So if you're really interested in seeing like what the damage is that we're looking at, then there we go. But sets up Stealth Rock against the Nidoqueen. Has leftovers. Okay. I have no idea what that was about. And the Nidoqueen gave up the KO for the Trick Room. Okay, that's weird. Did he expect to switch or something? I have no idea, because the Stealth Rocks was a change of pace for the Carbink, and then the Trick Room was also different, but now we just get to see not an explosion, because Nidoqueen is faster anyways, for some reason. Now I'm really confused as to what this Carbink could be. Is it actually like adamant just because? I don't know. But now Wishiwashi's in, that's a Scald, Nidoqueen is dead, and then the rest of the team kind of just gets plowed. That's it. That's all that's gonna happen. So Hydro Pump, oh, Nidoqueen avoids it, and that's why we have Scald, boys. But the Earth Power onto Wishiwashi, that's just damage check right there. So doing about a third of Wishiwashi's health as there's a switch into the Scolipede. That's not going to help at all though, because Pointed Stones as well as the Hydro Pump. Hydro Pump is going to land this time, and Scolipede is going to get one shot. Like, you can't switch into the Wishiwashi unless you have a guaranteed resisted hit. So that's going to be Life Orb right there. Still have a couple turns of Trick Room. A Drapion. Alright, Drapion is a fairly consistent Pokemon. Has that tankiness as well. How's the Ice Beam, or not Ice Beam, how's the Hydro Pump going to do against the Drapion? It is going to be enough to neutral KO. That is pretty crazy right there. I guess like one of the things about the Drapion is that it's just hard to KO because it doesn't have any weaknesses. Oh, and now Twisted Dimensions, so that's a thing that happens. Ooh, how's that going to play out? So Nidoqueen's going to get that outspeed, use the Earth Power. Earth Power is going to de-school, but even with like insanely low stats, it gets to do things. Or it can Ice Beam first. I guess schooling works after it gets the move, after it takes the hit. I don't know what happened right there. Okay. I thought it happened immediately, though, so I guess I'm gonna go and investigate that issue as things happen. I learned something today, guys, that schooling activates at the end of the turn. I haven't seen enough Wishiwashi to know that, apparently. Or, like, because of the berry. It's always like the berry activates and then Wishiwashi gets blown up anyways. I rarely see the solo form Wishiwashi. But if it's at the end of the turn, that's a lot more busted than I thought. Because I thought, like, you could get hit, de-school, and then lose all of your damage. But no, you stay schooled, so even if you get popped into that, you can still nuke the opponent. That's it. And I wonder if Jolteon's going to die to this explosion. That's another thing to consider. So, Jolteon, Thunderbolt, Carbink, it's tanky. Jolteon has Life Orb even. Carbink sets up a Stealth Rock, so we're seeing a shift in the play right now out of nowhere. I thought it was very consistent, just Trick Room, blow it up, good to go. But we also have Stealth Rocks involved right now, and honestly, I feel like it would just be better to Trick Room than Stealth Rocks, because then you can actually get a judge of how much damage the opponent's doing. That Earth Power on the Nidoqueen was a bit risky, but if you know you're going to be faster, except in that situation, it wasn't. I don't know. There was a lot of weirdness going on, but we know with the Jolteon, it's not enough damage. That's going to be a Trick Room after surviving 2 Thunderbolts. Leftovers giving a slight little bit of health. Maybe if you're going for that, then go for the Citrus Berry. That way you could kind of like pull yourself over if you're going for a Stealth Rock setup. There's an explosion right there, though. How much? Well, actually, yeah, that's going to be enough to take out the Jolteon after 2 Life Orbs. So 80% of Jolteon's health gone to the explosion, Carbink. It was big. Like, the first time I saw that explosion, I was kind of like, oh my goodness, that's everything you need. And then Wishiwashi comes in, and Garchomp dies to an Ice Beam. We know how this story ends right now, guys. So Wishiwashi with the schooling ability. And I think the special Wishiwashi does have a lot of advantages. That generally there's going to be like above average defenses on Pokemon, and yeah. That's going to be an Ice Beam and then death. So you don't have to worry about rough skin. You don't have to worry about making contact if it's something like the waterfall. Just use special attacks on the Wishiwashi and it goes pretty solid. And that's a Mimikyu. So Mimikyu going to take a little bit of the Stealth Rock's damage right there. And it will find a way to survive. So Wishiwashi with that Scald, gotta break the decoy. And then Mimikyu should be pretty easy to take out from there. So decoy goes down, plunk. And what is Mimikyu going to do? Like, it doesn't have, it swords dances, but then you just get outsped and die. He could have actually Will-O-Wisp. Yeah, like special is better because if you get Will-O-Wisp, bad things happen. So it looks like his play was the Swords Dance into Shadow Sneak, but even if it gets rid of the schooling form, Wishiwashi still cleans it up. Ooh, Mimikyu surviving the Scald though, getting burned, and it's going to have just enough to survive, I believe, after the burn because of the 1/16 change. If that was old burn, Mimikyu would be dead. Twist Dimensions return to normal right now, so Mimikyu looks like it's going to have the damage. Goes for the Leech Life. Play Rough would have KO'd. Shadow Claw would have KO'd as well. But looks like he tried to survive off the Leech Life. And Wishiwashi has U-turn though. Okay. That happened. I don't know what else. Life Orb, things happen. Cool. That got kind of weird at the end. But even then, like, Minior just wins instantly as well. I feel like the battle was still pretty much over. The burn, reducing Mimikyu's power down to just regular after the Swords Dance. Let's go into another battle, and then I'm going to set up some damage calculation things. Alright, so here's the damage calculation on the Wishiwashi. So Life Orb just kind of making the damage kind of crazy with that Hydro Pump right there. So I was going up against one of the more ridiculously weird tanky Pokemon that we have, like Silvally. So 95 hit points, 95 defense will be enough to survive, but then anything under that is pretty much gone. So let's see what it looks like for a 90 on, or actually, yeah, 90 special defense. So 90 hit points, 90 special defense. There's not really a lot of Pokemon that are this tanky, so that's where you start getting into like ranges, like 50% chance to KO and stuff like that. But if we just take the average-ish kind of Pokemon, actually an Alakazam is a good one because even though it has a low amount of hit points, it also has a high amount of special defense. So like 55 hit points, 95 special defense, that's going to be a KO right there. I'm just trying to think because there is this really strange gap. So Jolteon, that's actually going to be a 65, 95, still going to be enough to KO on a Jolteon stuff. They just find super effective hits with like the Ice Beam and then everything dies. But Carbink is the interesting one. So I'm just saying, what if it is a max attack Carbink? Because it already has insane amount of defenses. So investing into defense isn't going to give you that insane of returns. But why have we not seen more of this? Just the Trick Room Explosion Carbink. Max out hit points, you do that. I guess you run Sturdy just in case something goes wrong with like a super effective hit or whatnot. But yeah, that's hilarious. That explosion, it's enough to take out Alakazam by a pretty good margin. And let's see what it does to a Pokemon like the Weavile. So Weavile will not get KO'd. Oh, I was hoping that we'd get some craziness. So it's not enough to do a 70-65 Pokemon, but there's like just those certain Pokemon, or if they've taken any bit of damage from Life Orb or something like that, Explosion is just going to go and wreck them. I'm trying to think what else we could do, because there could be some really fun ones. Like, what about a plain... I'm trying to remember White Scarf or Normal Scarf or something like that. I don't even know the plate anymore either. Wait, give me 1 second, guys. I just screwed up. Silk Scarf, right. I was like, I thought it was Silk Scarf, and then for some reason I thought that was like an item that didn't do anything. But if you boost it with a Scarf, so instead of running Leftovers, you can run that Scarf and then pick up some extra KOs because the damage just kind of gets crazy from there. Let's go back into the last battle for the Fan Fridays right now. And this one, it looks like a scary team, but when you kind of break it down, the opponent can't really do much to the Wishiwashi. Or anything, actually. Like, so, Scizor, that's just gonna die. Blaziken, well, actually, no, that wasn't Scizor. I saw Blaziken die with Scizor. I'm losing my mind right now, apparently. It is way too early in the morning. But Tapu Lele might be the threat. We're gonna see how much damage a Tapu Lele can do, but how much we can also get in return. So, that's just gonna be stats right there for the Blaziken. Immediate bulk up, gaining attack and defense, as Carbink goes for the Stealth Rock. And that's actually a safe play against the Blaziken. It might instinctively protect. It might kind of go for some kind of Swords Dance or setup. But now Carbink, you know, this is why we probably run the Sturdy. Oh, the opponent's thinking Blaziken is free against the Carbink. So this one's actually kind of taking a little bit longer to set up, but that's going to be a Trick Room. And then we're going to see how much the Explosion does to the Blaziken. Actually, after all the bulk up, it's probably not going to be an insane amount. Baton Pass is a threat, but at least bulk up is boosting defense and not special defense. So that's going to be the Explosion from the Carbink, and Blaziken will tank it up pretty well. So that's going to be the damage right there. Carbink does go down. Stealth Rocks is active, and Blaziken goes for another bulk up. But with Trick Room, Blaziken does not like Trick Room, so this is where you just bring in a super effective hit and Blaziken dies. So all that setup doesn't really accomplish anything, no matter how this breaks down. So Wishiwashi comes in, Scald, GG. Super effective hit, just like that. Same with the Landorus, Scald, GG. So the biggest issue with this, or the one that we got to keep an eye out for, is going to be that Tapu Lele. I want to see how much damage we can do to it and how much damage we receive. So now we just kind of see how the Wishiwashi performs, loses some of its hit points, goes into the Tapu Lele right there, and things are about to get weird. So Pointed Stones, slight little bit right there, Psychic Surge. And sometimes Tapu Lele could work in a Trick Room against like massive sweepers, but not when there's a tanky, brutal Pokemon like this on the field that's also super slow. What? Oh, okay then. Maybe we could have learned that from our damage calculations. Because I thought Tapu Lele... Well, actually, no. That actually makes sense. I thought Tapu Lele would have just enough special defense to survive, potentially. But that's not how it works. Intimidate doesn't bother the Wishiwashi anyway. And that's a KO. Oh, except when Landorus avoids. See, that's why you Scald. You just Scald those super effective hits. You got enough damage to where it doesn't matter. Life Orb gets knocked off. That's kind of frustrating. Twisted Dimension's returning to normal. Okay. Landorus with the Rock Slide. So now just kind of mixing it up, going for different amounts of damage on the Wishiwashi. Wishiwashi survives. And it lands the Ice Beam. Or you can Ice Beam Landorus. Didn't need a Hydro Pump, but still a KO. So there we go. That's the battle. Done. Just like that. I want to pull this back up now. And I didn't think about the Tapu Lele, so let's go Tapu Lele. But yeah, Tapu Lele isn't like 70 hit points, 95 special defense, or 115 special defense. So, let's just say no hit point investment then. Does that mean, yeah, I guess Stealth Rocks mattered then. So, has a chance to KO. But then if we go and pull up the Stealth Rocks, which one? This one. Yeah, there it is. All right, that one on Stealth Rocks. So 93% chance to KO on the Stealth Rocks after we get it set up on Tapu Lele. And Tapu Lele's damage is not even enough to de-school us from full health. Now, Life Orb will kick in, and then we'll de-school. But overall, we have, like, enough damage opportunities where we can, like, Hydro Pump, and then, I guess, even, like, solo form Hydro Pump and still find ways of KOing the Tapu Lele. So that's pretty much it, guys. Hope you all enjoyed the first Fan Fridays. That was a lot of battles. That was pretty long overall, but it was still fun. We just got to watch the Trick Room setup into Wishiwashi murdering a ton of Pokemon without any problems. So hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next Fan Fridays.